Hello, slots enthusiasts. How are you? My name is John Friedel. Welcome to Professor Slots, a channel devoted to mastering casino slots so you can win your way to success. Today, we'll be diving into can you win at video poker using winning slot strategies? It's great to see you all here again for another Professor Slots podcast episode and live stream. If you're with us live, be sure to say hello and ask your slots related questions. I'll get to those a little later in the show. But first, thank you, Chuck, for your donation. And he says it's a super chat for $20.88. Half goes to Paula's visit to Missouri. Paula's Visit Missouri Fund. I can do that. That's good. And thanks for letting me know the audio is good. After a year, I'm starting to have more confidence. Right. So a couple of bad early episodes and right. So thank you for the donation. I will try not to blush. Last week was so extraordinary once I showed everybody how to donate using the $ at the bottom of the chat, which you can do at any time. Anytime before the live stream or during the live stream. It was pretty extraordinary, and I think I'm starting to get a little pink. But thanks. I win a big jackpot on a slot machine, and I blush. I after a while, I kind of try to calm down, but it's still new and unusual to get 15. Is it 15? Yeah, 15 super chats or super. What is that? Super. What's the other one? Not super chat, but super sticker. Right. And that was pretty extraordinary last week. Thank you so much. So getting started here, audience member Paul, as well as Jerry, in a recent one-on-one consultation, asked an excellent question about another use in the casino for my winning slot strategies. They wanted to know, can they help us win on video poker machines? I'm not a video poker expert, although I have put a reasonable amount of time into understanding them, but I know some of you are video VP experts, and some of you don't know what that VP stand for video poker. Whichever the case may be, how might you apply my successful slot strategies to win at video poker electronic gaming machines? Let's find out. Oh, and I have another super. This is a super sticker from Magpie 11. Thank you so much. Others on the show have suggested giving me a donation of what you might bet, or what you some reasonable amount. And thank you. Magpie's emoji says, "Thanks for being you," and you're welcome. I was talking to somebody who had a club foot, and he was okay and stuff, college student, great career, all that. And he said, he told me he was born with it, and I said, yeah, I was born me. And he kind of paused, and he looked at me, and he kind of understands a little bit about me, and it's not a disability. Thinking like this can help you win a car at a casino. Anyway, this video is not about traditional video poker winning strategies. Those strategies are long-standing and well-known. Play each of the many types of video poker games perfectly by practicing with software at home, and then, look through your casino's VP machines for the best pay table. Right. I want to make sure my next screen is ready. As I previously discussed, every little bit of winning edge helps. If you can find several edges, that's even better as they add up. Choosing the right machine, selecting the best available casino, and aligning your play to your gambling goals will each individually increase your overall odds of winning to something quite substantial. This applies to slot machines, and this applies to video poker machines, and even some, even bingo machines, HHR machines, electronic gaming machines. So with this perspective in mind regarding video poker machines, I'll assume perfect play and the best possible pay table. Each video, and I'll give you a reference so you can, if you're interested in looking some of this stuff up, there are some experts out there. So each video poker hand not played in the way math says it. I use the word math. I will do that sometimes. Each video poker hand not played in the way math says it should be results in simply throwing away whole return percentage points. You'll need to avoid doing that. Not playing the best pay tables available results in a similar lowering of the odds of winning. Sometimes this is acceptable, however. For instance, maybe your casino doesn't offer video poker machines with 9-6 odds, as they say, or maybe those wonderful hard-to-find 9-6 odds are only available on a $25 denomination machine, but you're not a high roller. In any case, I will assume, 1, you've scraped together every bit of winning odds you can find. 2, you've learned to play your video poker game of choice perfectly. 3, the video poker machine with the best pay table has been located, where best means the pay table has the best odds of winning and the machine denomination and credits match your bankroll. 2, learn more about different games, perfect play, and pay tables for video poker. Several good resources are available to you. For example, these topics are well covered by Bob Dancer, author of $1 Million Video Poker. He doesn't have his own YouTube channel. I want to share this with you. He doesn't have his own video channel, but his co-host on the long-running Gambling with an Edge podcast, Richard Munchkin, does. I'll put a link to his channel in the show notes and video description. And I'm sharing this with you now, both the name of his channel as well as some of the videos, and you can see they're mostly episodes of their podcast. Sometimes I didn't try playing one of these. I listen to them regularly, but I haven't watched them on YouTube. I listen to them on a podcast. And one of the things I'm not sure about is sometimes I stopped doing this myself. You could just have your thumbnail, it's called, image, just showing through an hour-long interview, and there's no video, and you can do that on YouTube. I used to do it, but I stopped for reasons that help grow the channel if you don't do it. So I don't know. We could try, I suppose, but let's not. Right? If I click one of these and go, yeah, the whole thing is just the image. It's just the audio. So there's no reason why you couldn't listen to it on YouTube as well as listen to the podcast. And they have a website. I've been to that as well. Okay, so let's stop sharing that. Right. So another excellent resource is Robin Aubin, Aubin. Thank you, Chip, for your $24.99 donation. Super chat. He says, on VPs, tier point buildup is at a lower rate. Rats. Yes, I'll be talking about that, but I'll also talk about how that kind of balances out with sort of what happens with VP play, with video poker play. So we'll get to that. But thank you. And Chip made a donation last week with a request. And let's see if I can over on this shoulder is a picture. And I will get back to sharing the screen again and share with you that. So the guy on the right is, on your right, let's see, right, on your left is Emmett Brown, Doc Emmett Brown, famous scientist, fictional from Back to the Future. And the middle cat, female, Calico, is Marie, also Curie. I kind of switch back and forth. Marie Curie, famous scientist, not fictional, radiation. And then there's Rudy, who came with the house, was an outdoor cat, and came inside when the other two arrived, and he's just Rudy. The first two are shelter cats, which I try to do when I can, but I provided shelter to to Rudy. Anyway, I'll stop sharing that. But Chipit had a request last week. I had another request after last week's show, which was, could you slow down a little bit? You're talking really fast. And one of the statistics I get is how much I've been played back during a live stream. So I will try to keep the pace at a better pace. Sometimes these things I'm talking about are hard to fit into an hour, but it's no excuse for talking faster. I just have to prepare things and drop things that are less important. But this is important. So just letting you know how things are going. Okay. This video is not about traditional video poker strategies. Those strategies are long-standing. But as discussed, every bit of winning helps. So I will assume perfect play and the best possible pay table that you've done all that work, and not to throw away any return percentage points. Not playing the best available turntable results in lowering the odds of winning on a video poker machine. Sometimes this is acceptable, however, and maybe you don't have that. Maybe it's only a $25 machine and it's not in your budget. So I want to mention the second source after Robert Munchkin, Gambling with an Edge, is Robin Aubin from Anytime Gambling. Aubin, Aubin. Anytime Gambling is New England Time Gambling, Anytime Gambling. It's kind of a play on words. Who has been studying video poker for 20 years. Put a link to Robin's website. Nice guy, by the way, and also in the show notes. From the perspective of a long-term slots gambler, which I am, video poker can best be understood as simply being skill-based slot machines. I can only imagine this is hard for long-term video poker machine players to accept, although they have been starting to come around, like slots players, to the changes that have occurred since most casinos now have central computer servers with their sophisticated algorithm remotely controlling gaming machine odds. The best video poker players know that card games are not the same as video games. Again, this is not strictly for video poker players. This is for slots players who might also play video poker or don't, but should be aware that these machines exist for you. And things are happening on the live chat as usual. Hello, everybody. Welcome. So the best video poker players know that card games are not the same as video games. For instance, there's no card counting in video games because past hands are irrelevant. The computer isn't playing from a few decks of cards, but rather an infinite deck of cards from the beginning. So there's no bluffing when playing a computer, but it goes deeper than that. Someone who switches from poker as a table game to video poker machines has a hard transition to make. How best to explain this difficulty? Well, consider the game of golf. Do you like golf? Have you played a lot of it? Okay, let's say you do and have. Maybe you even love driving around on freshly cut grass in your cart. Well, not on the grass, right? Etiquette. Shooting a game of golf with friends on a fine summer's day. Now, let's get you to instead play a video golf game. The advice I've heard a video gaming expert give a golfer playing video golf was this: try to imagine that you're not even playing golf anymore. So use this to consider poker versus table game poker versus video poker. So translating poker to a video machine created something new. It's not entirely different, as the rules are much the same, but it's not playing with physical cards anymore, and that's where the difference lies. It's not physical cards, but virtual cards in an electronic simulation. Maybe you've never played skill-based slot machines. When playing them, an incorrect move reduces your odds of winning. But for instance, if you're playing a Space Invaders slot machine, what happens when you fire your virtual weapon and miss? well, your overall gambling performance, your winnings will be less. It's the same way with video poker. Yes, traditionally play the video poker game perfectly. Also, of course, improve your overall odds of winning by playing machines with the best pay table. But don't stop there. Some of the best card based poker advice I've ever heard was originally from Jimmy the Greek. I don't know if you remember him, it was a long time ago, but he said, "Don't play the game, play the other player." So, my advice for video poker players, well, it's the same advice I have for playing slots. It's this: don't play the computer, play the casino. Next, I'll explain what I mean by playing the casino. But first, let's check in with the live chat to briefly say hello. Wow, look at all those super chats and super stickers. I'm looking through all of our prior discussion on tacos and hamburger and um, uh, trips to Missouri, and hard-boiled eggs, or not so hard-boiled eggs. That was the pre-show. I'm going to say officially I have a pre-show, and you only can catch the pre-show by being on the live stream because the live chat is not available afterwards, and I turn that off. So everything that happens in the live chat stays in the live chat. Where have I heard that sort of a saying before? Yeah, there's a pre-show kind of. I should be more thorough about it. Mostly we just chat. Yes, Paula is our moderator today. Thank you, Paula, for being our moderator. Let's see. Librarian stuff here. Bruce is here from southern British Columbia, Canada. And Dave is here from Lyons, Oregon. Excellent. Chuck and the usual characters are here. Michael sends holiday greetings from Colorado. And Dave and Lois are here. More arrangements between Chuck and Paula. Ye Grand Boss. Hello. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Great to see you. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Magpie, who gave the donation a few moments ago, does playing the casino mean assess the best pay tables? Playing the casino means my seven numbered winning strategies plus others, which I haven't given a number, where we're taking advantage of the casino business practices. Ask your slots questions. This is maybe I'll have some time at the end, but I try to put it kind of in the middle. So ask your slots questions now. But the first one was, does playing the casino mean assessing the best pay tables? It can, certainly. My goodness ratio isn't something I've mentioned very often. It's more like avoiding the worst pay tables. Sometimes, like when I talk to college kids or high school kids at, high school science fairs and stuff, they're like, I can't decide what I want to do in college. And I will say, what do you not want to do? What's off the table? You can do the same thing with slot machines. Wow, which is a good one? Well, which one's a bad one? And take those out of the list and what's left. So yeah, my goodness ratio, which is explained on candidate slot machines around the 5-minute mark, explains how to avoid the worst slot machines. That's what I have for that. But the rest of this is playing the casino means taking advantage of what that casino does as far as common casino business practices. And now that they can do that, there's the world's oldest slot machine winning strategy, which existed before central computer servers. I was the victim or the recipient of that in 2004, and it really got me started on this whole trail of understanding what's really going on with slots. I would just assume what I was hearing about slots was true, but then my experience just in 2004 shattered what happened or my belief in any of that. And so being a physicist, I just figured it out from best, basic principles, first principles. And you might say, well, you didn't just do that. And I'm like, well, I did it over 10 years. So, I'm not saying it was easy, but now we can talk about stuff like this, and not be dealing with myths and misunderstandings anymore. Just joining, Charlie says, do you agree that Jacks Are Better is the best game? I certainly think that it's the one that you're most likely going to find, so that, a requirement on doing everything you can on video poker is the perfect play. I mean, otherwise you're just doing stuff. And for those who don't know, perfect play means it's different for different games. And you don't want to miss a single one. Maybe you don't get the best hands, but which one's the best hand? And what's your choices? I'm not going to just give you examples of Jacks Are Better has this, where this other one has that. But you need to learn to play the game. They may not seem very different, but they are very different as far as perfect play. So a lot of people choose Jacks Are Better to practice. So they know the right answer. These software packages out there, and I'd show you, but it's on my PC and not on my Mac, so I can't exactly share it. Gives you the answer. You make your choice as best you can, and you give an answer. Wizard of Odds, goes through all this, the math, and I think he even provides like little cards that you can print out. And casinos don't mind if you have a printout. Maybe not look on your electronic device, but you can take the card, and so you can kind of remember the difficult ones that are. And so people play Jacks Are Better because they know how to play it better. But there's other bonus, which is fine. If you know perfect play, that's my choice. And if you go into a casino and you go a variety of different casinos, you're more likely to find the more common Jacks Are Better. But do you play the bonus video poker game or the bonus? Because just, you don't give up on improved odds of winning. And Jacks Are Better is more popular. Bruce says, what was my aha moment in winning slots learning when the casino need to do to keep players and exploiting that knowledge? We're missing a verb there somewhere. Maybe you're using audio to text. So that was your aha moment in winning at slots, learning what the casino needed to do to keep players and then you're exploiting that knowledge. Yeah. Right. So that's all the questions that are in the live chat at the moment. Let's keep talking about video poker. So this is not meant to be an irrelevant live stream, right? This is for slots players. But I think it's useful to give examples, right? Hey, Nadine is here from Hawaii. Aloha. Wonderful. Right. So this is for slots players, but slots players will ask about video poker. Paul did, Jerry did, even very recently on one of my more recent, was it Sunday last week? Or was it 2 weeks ago? From Jerry in the one-on-one consultation, was like, well, I have a very odd question. And I'm like, bring it, right? Just like this live stream, bring it. And he said, I wanted to ask you about video poker. And I'm like, oh no, I've gotten that question, wrote up an article on it, and be happy to tell you all about it. And he was like, really? Like, yeah, it's not inconceivable. Somebody might want to know about this. A slots player might want to know about this. Machines are machines. So what's the advantage here for the rest of us? Even if you don't play video poker, don't want to play video poker, the advantage of this live stream is I will explain how to use each of my slot strategies, the numbered one and plus one more, and not the money management or other stuff that we could talk about some other time. And I have a series coming out, one this earlier, a couple days ago, yesterday, on money management, 11 practical tips, and I think we're up to 5 now, 2 per video. It's a short video. Anyway, so it's helpful to do examples. When I was teaching physics, we'd uncover this new principle, right? Electromagnetism or whatever, and I would give examples, and then I'd give a test. So let's go through some examples of how this applies to video poker, and you can use that to better understand your upcoming test, not from me, but the next time you go to the casino. So let's go through each one of these and see how they work. So briefly, my winning slot strategies are about recognizing patterns. For instance, casino operators may directly install a winning slot machine at a specific location in the casino, or winning slot machines may be indirectly determined through their choice of casino operating system. Directly means a casino deliberately increases the odds of winning on a slot machine placed at a specific location in the casino, such as a high traffic area. If the high traffic area moves, right, before lunch, after lunch, that sort of thing. Simple example. So does the specific slot machine set to win. You're in a hallway and there's a slot machine here and everybody's going that way for lunch, but then there's a slot machine over here where everybody's going back from lunch. The casino would move the machine with the best odds, and they can easily do that with these central servers. So whether or not the casino has chosen to do so is our task to uncover if we can. I'll talk about this approach. I'll talk more about this approach, practically its own winning strategy, in another video sometime soon. So many videos to produce, so little time. Right. So we've got a long list of things to talk about. I don't see Linda here, but the random number generator explanation that from 20 years ago that everybody seems to follow, it was not great 20 years ago. And now with the central server, it's wrong. And I've got the script figured out, how exactly I want to explain something without getting too deep into calculus, but I do need to have a couple of, I used the word calculus. I love the word calculus. But I need to figure out the graphics so I can show curves and stuff, and explain all that so that people understand what's changed or where the misunderstanding was. Right. So I'll work on that coming up. It's percolating to the top of my list. As you may already know, if you've been watching my videos, modern casinos are now using a central computer to remotely set and adjust the odds of winning on their gaming machines. There are several strategic approaches a casino might use to do this, each with a tactical counter approach, which I figured out, which I call my winning slot strategies. Those of you who've been here a lot know this, but and there's always going to be new. I'm growing. There's always going to be new people coming to the live stream. So I want to make sure you understand the basics of what's going on with my approaches. Now, just a brief aside, we've got time, a brief aside. Do you know how many subscribers some of these other slots channels have, or even gambling channels have on YouTube? Brian Christopher is 300,000 American. It's not 500,000. It's not 1 million. It's not nothing like that. Only 300,000. And winning with gambling with an edge, Richard Munchkin, despite being so long lasting, it's 3,500. If I get 600 more subscribers, I'll beat out Gambling with an Edge. What the heck? I think there's a lot of fertile ground here. I would love to get to 1 million subscribers. Feel free to subscribe. I'm not asking you to. If you wanted to, you would have done it already. And a lot of people, there's, subscribers don't count. It's a vanity metric. But on the other hand, it gives some indication of the popularity of a channel. And nobody's crossed 1 million. Nobody I know has crossed 1 million. It seems like some of the best ones out there, that's not Brian Christopher, who seems to be at the top of the pack, is what, 40K? I mean, I think that's where American Casino Guide is at. And I'm just astonished at such low numbers. Let's get us, it might take a year, it might take 2 years. Let's get it over 1 million. I know it's ambitious, but let's not mess around anymore. So that's what my goal is for this business, and helping you and getting the word out. Right. So not every winning slot machine strategy works at every casino. Remember, this is important. My videos on winning slot strategies have been as much about how a slot machine strategy works as it is about identifying whether a specific casino is susceptible to it. Put another way, if a casino hasn't installed a winning slot machine in full view of a major walkway in their casino to entice others to play slots after seeing someone else win, then it's not there, no matter how hard we look. In this next section, I'll apply my winning slot strategies to playing video poker and discuss if we can get an advantage play from it. Some will work, some may not work. Let's examine them. So the world's oldest winning slot strategy, a recent live stream that I went over, deliberately improves the odds of winning on a slot machine in full view of other casino patrons. Basically, the idea here is to entice passersby to also play slots when they might not otherwise. This was the only winning strategy before central servers came out. They would open up the machine, adjust the odds, leave it high for whatever budget they happen to have then. Maybe in April, when people go into the casino, is kind of like the season to do that. People are not on vacation yet, but the kids are out of school. And yeah, they'd give out a few hand pays, and then they would get back some of that cost back by letting that jackpot be seen by passersby. So they raise the odds on machines that are visible and not like facing a wall, but facing a clearing, a bar, a walkway. So you tell me, are video slot machines ever visible from high traffic areas? Consider how many video poker machines a casino might have. Typically not a lot, right? Not compared to how many slot machines they might have. They might have thousands of slot machines and 100 video poker machines at most. They're usually off in an area by themselves, not spread all over the casino, so people can find them. Maybe. What's your casino setup like? So having successfully employed this strategy to slot machines, I'd say it might apply to a very few of the VP machines in a video poker area. Look for a machine visible from the entryway, on the end of an aisle, second to the end of the aisle, whatever, to passersby, whatever has, wherever it's situated such that it can be seen. Those are the ones to test the strategy on, but carefully. My winning slot strategy number one is, when moving on through each of these strategies, my winning slot strategy number one, only win immediately, is when casinos set up their machines to win immediately, but then don't offer any more wins if continuing to play. This is one of my most popular videos, and you can go find it on my channel. This slot strategy is just as cheap and easy to check on video poker machines as it is on slots. When I found a casino has set up their machines this way, all the machines are set up this way. That means you can test it first on cheaper machines to confirm it exists before optimizing your profit by playing your usual bet size with which you're comfortable. So go find, and this is one of the things that didn't quite make it in the video that's so popular, which was the test procedure. So many people are like, well, I'm just going to, so many people, and they're all gamblers, right? They gamble. They go say, well, I'm just going to go right straight to the high limit machines and make max bet. And I'm like, there's a whole testing step. I'm a gambler. And I'm like, no. So I'll mention it here and other places. Go find 20 penny slot machines. This is not about making money. This is about whether or not you win. So go find penny slot machines, 20 of them, and bet 1 cent 5 times in a row. Stop if you win anything at all. It's not about the money, it's about whether or not you win. This is the test procedure. One by one, try the next machine that also has hopefully been sitting idle for a while, because that can help too. Did it happen again? Did you win? How often? Continue on. How often? More than half the time on half the machines, or less than half the machines? The best result if it happens on every machine. You can find a casino that does this. All you can do is find the casino. You can't make the casino do this. That makes sense. If this keeps happening for all kinds of slot machines, then you can expect it to happen with that casino's video poker machines. uh, Someone said Fibonacci numbers. Let's not abuse people's sensitivities to math topics, but that was lovely. If I could heart that, I would heart that. That comment in the live chat. Fibonacci numbers, geez. So my winning strategy number 2 is for video poker machines with progressive jackpots. A little unusual to have a VP machine with a progressive jackpot, but they do exist. So you apply it to VP machines the same way you would for progressive slots. Be aware that not every casino has progressive video poker machines, but the good news is those casinos that do typically only have a few. There are certainly far fewer than non-VP progressive slot machines. As you may know, the progressive machine strategy takes many casino visits and is spread over time. So having fewer machines to check often makes all that time and effort easier. So my winning strategy number 3, as we're marching through these, my winning strategy number 3 is all about earning complimentary gifts. And this goes back to what Chip was saying earlier about making less points for the same amount of money when you're playing video poker machines as with slot machines. But we'll get to that. So you can earn complimentary gifts. It's a well-known strategy for video poker. As mentioned by video poker experts, comps are often the only way to come out ahead in video poker. However, be aware that VP machines often earn perhaps half the points for comp points for every dollar spent than slot machines, but you can play a lot longer on VP machines, basically, cycling your bankroll than most slot machines. So it all kind of balances out with a long-term 99% return on some video poker games. Getting harder to find those. A few complimentary gifts can result in a personal profit for players. Sometimes it's the only way they can win more than they put into the machine. Because of this, that's why casinos usually reduce the player club points, as we were talking about, earned for playing video poker relative to playing slots, because they cycle more. Video poker machines cycle more. So we've got some stuff going on in the chat, but I'll come back to that towards the end here. My winning strategies number 4 and number 5 are all about casinos adjusting the odds of winning during and after special events, lowering it during and improving it after car giveaways, Derby Day, and holidays, which we have coming up. So if you're interested in those, see those winning strategies for the upcoming holidays, or rather the morning after the upcoming holidays, make sure you take a look at those videos. Can casinos do this with video poker machines? Yes, as modern casinos have central computers which adjust the odds of winning on their machines on a daily or multiple day basis. Sure. Does your casino do it? That's the question. Well, do you play at a riverboat casino, Chuck? or anywhere in the state of Washington? I don't remember anybody being here today from Washington. If not, and it has more than around 50 machines. I've been talking to somebody in New Zealand, and the casinos are very small, and it's really not affordable for the casino to get the software to run everything unless you have at least 50 machines, and a lot of them have 8, or 10 or 18. And so, as long as it's not a small casino, a gas-sino in, Wyoming or something like that, that makes it worthwhile for the casino to have purchased and installed a central computer server. Financially rewarding for them. So my winning strategy number 6, moving on, is about optimizing profit after finding a winning strategy that works. As mentioned, some of my strategies apply to machines require a very low bankroll to test. Then if such a test is positive, you can optimize it by trying it on higher denomination machines. Don't go over what you have available. Don't exceed what you're comfortable spending, because you have to assume the worst. So testing is very important, and it reduces your financial risk. And finally, my winning strategy number 7 is apparently rare to find. However, it is a strategy I use to get 7 stars, top tier status, in 6 weeks over about a dozen 3-hour periods, 3-hour sessions. It didn't help me with win a car. That was supported by strategy number 1, but I was nevertheless quite pleased with it. So coming back a week later, a few minutes earlier, playing the same video poker machine, the reason why that's hard to do is because you have to actually see that win. And with so few machines at most casinos, so few video poker machines at most casinos, there's the trouble. You got to find somebody that wins. And it's just less often than, you see a casino with thousands of slot machines, and, it's just a matter of whether or not you're in range of seeing it. Anyway, that's kind of covers that point. So might you find this winning strategy works for video poker? Well, if it's very casino dependent, I found it at the brand new Horseshoe Cincinnati in the same year that the nearby Belterra Park finished their extensive renovations. As I mentioned, this one is rare, but incredibly valuable if your casino has it. Do I suspect any casinos having this winning strategy in place? Yes, I do. Without having tried it myself, and just looking at the business tension, as it were, I suspect MGM Springfield in Massachusetts and the border of Connecticut employed it during their first year. I think it was like last year when they opened. And do you have any? So the question is, do you have any new casinos near you? Something that's opened within the last year, possibly 2 years? So why is MGM Springfield doing this? Because they're trying to build a reputation in southern New England, where every resident has a casino within a 2-hour drive. And Ohio is a saturated. Iowa is a saturated market. There is a casino within every hour drive for people in Iowa. So this is the sort of thing that America is coming to, but not there yet. More and more casinos are coming in until the market is saturated, but it's not in many places. So this is indeed special to have a new casino. It's a known strategy, known approach that worked very well for Horseshoe Cincinnati, and not long after, they were purchased by Jack Casino, and more recently by Hard Rock. So they're establishing the reputation with the local community and people who are in driving distance or fly in, but they're also making a reputation for potential buyers, which is really, they built that casino. The original people who invested in it to construct that building were looking for payday that they were willing to wait 2.5 years for, and then they got paid. All right. So this is how investors think. That popularity, that reputation, that's why it's so valuable, is money in the bank. And it's not just for commercial casinos. It also matters to tribal casinos. They can't be sold, but they do have business plans, and they want to get loans, and they want to do some other things that, business-wise, where having a great reputation matters. Then you get the ones that aren't trying to do any of that, and they shady. This can happen. Anyway, you look at this stuff and you ask yourself, is that casino doing this? And these are some of the reasons why it might be doing it. You can just look at the return statistics. We'll get to that in just a second. So this final winning strategy comes with a strong warning. in all of what I just said, there's something to watch out for. If your new casino has set itself up to do this, and the decent ones do, to forevermore have billboards honestly saying that they have the best slots and most jackpots, then take this warning to heart. Enjoy your wins in the first year as they'll come easy. Enjoy your wins in the second year of the casino being open, as those too will still be easy. Not as easy. Oh, Chip has given a super chat without saying anything for $24.99. And I think I might have been able to not blush this time. But thank you, Chip. I'll put it towards how much I spent on the frame for the cats. Thank you. The second year of a newly opened casino, it's still easy to win compared to everything else, but not as easy as the first year. So what you should watch out for, however, is the third year of it being open. Those new casinos have a budget for construction as well as establishing itself in the community. In the third year, casinos doing this drop their payout returns to the going forward normal. Put another way, they'll be wanting all their money back from you. I was on ABC Evening News, a local channel in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, where they were doing an investigative report about their local casino, Penn National, which is operated by Hollywood. And you can watch this segment on on this convenient link, which I'll drop into, hopefully this will work, into the show notes, but it's real simple to remember. And you might have seen it before if you've been here a while. ProfessorSlots.com/ABC27. And that's a shortcut that'll take you to a much longer, harder to remember URL on the Harrisburg, Pennsylvania Channel 27 ABC website. And you can watch this video yourself where they look at their local Penn Nationals. Pennsylvania provides return statistics, and you can see they mapped it all out, and you can see that first year was awesome, and then on the returns, but it never came back to that. It's still very low. Why is that? In part, and they mentioned this right at the last 30 seconds when the anchors talk to one another. They don't have a competition. Up in Philadelphia is where the competition is, and that's not close enough. So it's just one casino in that area. Right. So as I pointed out in this news report, if you can't adjust your gaming and think the wins will just keep on coming like they did, you're in for a world of hurt. Just remember to trim back your gaming machine betting at new casinos after the first year or possibly two. You can thank me later. Now, my local Miami Valley Gaming in Ohio, I've checked its statistics from the beginning when it opened in 2013, late 2013. In that first month, that Ohio offers monthly return statistics. That first month was good. After that, it was low. But then it kind of went, how do I do this? It started up here, and then it went down, 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 down. No. It went down, and then it started climbing back up. Never to the original. It started climbing back up. And then it dropped. So the most recent return statistics for Miami Valley Gaming is from July. So they're about 4 months behind. Others are like Arkansas. No, Missouri is September. Mississippi, most recent report is October. So, it depends on how long they take to turn it around. But back in July, it was so bad at Miami Valley. It was as much as it dropped that first month to the second month when it first opened, it was more than that below that low amount in July. But I think what's happening now, because I've been looking at the more recent ones from Missouri and Mississippi, I'll have to wait for Miami Valley Gaming for a couple months. But it looks like they're recovering. So a lot of people have been concerned about, casinos, maybe tribal casinos, others, they would drop it just to get money back for having been closed for a couple months. And it kind of looks like, if that's a national trend for the casinos who know that their reputation matters in so many ways, that they are, done with that. So we're starting to, I'm hearing more about jackpots. I'm hearing more about good times at the casino and all my Facebook community groups for each state, including Professor Slots enthusiasts. And ProfessorSlots.com/FB will give you the list of all the states, and you can just join Facebook, or you can search in Facebook. Right. Wow. Look at all this. Let's go through some of these questions. And some of this is talking amongst each individuals. Let's see. We answered that question and that question, and we're up to Aloha. So, have you ever made the infamous mistake of playing it all back in your years of Famously, one time I won a $14,000 jackpot a couple of days before my annual trip as a 7 stars to Las Vegas, my place of choice, and I wanted to go there. I like to go there on 4th of July weekend, but it's 4 days, 3 nights. And I get there just before the day before California arrives. That's how I put it. A lot of people. And then I leave the day after they leave. And at first time, I'm just like, I haven't just, stayed at Caesar's Palace before. That was my choice. And I just trying to, everything's comped, and there's $800 room credit or vouchers and $500 room credit. And just, I got on my card, my player's card, I've got $7,000, to wherever I can use it. And half the strip is owned by Caesars, whatever, maybe 80%. But at the time, and I was just like, okay, I've got some learning to do, so I can talk about this later on the show, and etc. This is back when I had podcasts, but not yet a YouTube channel. Then year after that, I went. But I took this $14,000 with me, and I didn't take all of it. I took $8,000 of it. That's right. And I played at half of it I spent on like a nice hat and cowboy boots and a few other things because I was in Las Vegas. But half of it, $4,000, I broke up into $500 increments, and I went to 8 different high limit rooms on the Strip. And $500 in Caesars, $500 in across the street, but blah, 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 working my way down to Mandalay Bay, where I arrived with $500 and left out of the 4,000. And I don't know why I didn't learn my lesson by then, but then I was learning and learning to tell you guys some of this stuff. And I went into that high limit room, and have I told you about, looking to see how busy it is in past live streams I had? And that one was like obviously busy. I won't say the slot attendants were sweating, but they were not sitting still. They were servicing. And I went over to the floor manager. There was actually a floor manager stationed in the high limit room, which is they're only there if they need to be there. And apparently this guy needed to be there. So I said, how many people have won? Hand pays. And he's like, oh, we've had a bunch this morning. Oh, look, there goes another one. Turn around and someone just won another one. And I should have just spent the whole $4,000 at that casino instead of, losing all of it at 7 other casino high limit rooms. But I learned my lesson. And then there was another time when I won $27,000, and I left with a lot less than I should have. I should have just turned around and walked out, but I had never won anything over $5,000. I won like $5,000 hand pays 4 or 5 times at that point, but nothing higher. And, later on I won 10,000, 14,000, stuff like that. But 27,000 was, I'll call it my highest one. The car was worth $40K, which I took. So, I've had that experience. And, Niles Bohr said, quote, and I'm translating from the Dutch, not that I know Dutch, an expert is someone who's made every possible mistake within a narrow field. I've made these mistakes, learned from them, and and put them together in a book and sharing them with you now. Um, I don't care for calculus. Calculus is indistinguishable from magic. People were saying some of these things. Yeah, go ahead and buy my book as a Christmas present for you. The most I've ever sold of my book was 10 copies. The last day you could order the soft cover. I have an audiobook and an ebook as well, but the last day you could order a soft cover to get it by Christmas was last year, and I'm just waiting to see what happens this year. Chip says he loves geometry and trig, but I don't like algebra or calculus. Does that make sense? We all have our favorites, Chip. We all have our favorites. I remember not liking trigonometry, but then I started mowing a lawn, and it all became a lot more fun. Triangles, circles. Right. So now that we all have shared our opinion about math, what else do we have here? Does anyone feel you can make a profit with only like $20? Yeah, what I like to suggest is, I'm not trying to tell anybody what their bankroll should be, but I will say you need to make 100 bets. So what's $20 divided by 100? 2 cents. So each bet, a penny machine with 2 credits would be 2 cents, and that would allow you to make 100 bets, and that lets the machine run long enough to maybe have something happen. Now, if you stop at 20 and don't go directly to 100, stop at 20 and go, have I won anything at all? Have I won anything that seems significant? Does this seem like a winning machine? If the answer is no, move on. So often I'll say have 120 bets so that you can try a couple different machines before you run out of cash. And that's how you do it. I mean, just give up on this whole idea of push to having more and more amount until you're spending money you don't have. And so, yeah, divide what you take to the casino by 100, bet 20 times. And if that's a good machine, stay. If it's not, go to another one. And $20 is a fine bankroll. People used to take $20 rolls of quarters back when we had coins, and here I am with my quarters and Right. Right. Yeah, I used to take 2,500 every time I went, but I was playing high limits. But I never played a $100 machine because to get 100 bets on a $100 machine, I'd need what, $10,000, and I didn't have that, so I'm not playing it. And even then, you should probably want to have more than that. Okay, a few minutes left. Yeah, Chip has been applying a lot of my techniques. We've been doing a lot of back and forth. It's part of the reason why he's donating so much, and much appreciated. We've been having long conversations. Back when I had, right now I'm dealing with like 3 hours worth of email responses, and that's my limit. I have to work on the next video and whatnot. So I'm now exceeding how much time I have per day. So Chip took advantage when nobody was emailing me to email the heck out of me. You had your chance. Let's see. Bruce says, I have used the 5 pull trick many times to test for finding loose slots. Excellent. And Chuck says wants to revisit the basics. Haven't had a hand pay this year. Yeah. It's an interesting year, right? Crystal says I use a few hundred. I do hit 1 credit, then up the credits on the machine. This hopefully for back-to-back wins. Yep. Oh, and if you these little tips, I try to put them in. If you win something, 1 more bet. All right, just 1 more bet, because sometimes they're back to back. You'd be surprised how often it happens. I've seen people get up from their hand pay, go away, and I'm just like, well, oh, look at that second one. and so 1 bet after you win, or somebody else wins if they walk away. Let's see. And if it's Steve's here, a little bit late to the show. I have statistics in front of me, and it looks like about the 12-minute, about 12:30 was when most people arrived. It like doubled. What's that all about? Should I start the show at 12:30 and then you'll all be here at 1? Um, um, Thanks for suggesting everybody hit the like button. Helps grow the channel a little bit. Let's see. So the URL is a link, but it doesn't have the HTTPS in front of it. It's what's called a shortcut. So if you type into your browser, professorslots.com/ABC27, it will jump you to a much longer, more complicated URL at the ABC News 27 Harrisburg website. Complicated enough for you. Yep, it does matter, Crystal. All depends on what your goal for the day is. Yep. I completely agree. What's hard to watch is some people are like, my goal is to win money. And then they win money and they're like, my goal is to spend money. And it's just like, but 5 minutes ago it was to win money. What happened? Stick with your goals for your visit, unless you change them. Yeah, David, you might want the ebook. You can expand it on your readers so the print's easier to read. Completely get that. Okay, so thank you, Paula. I'll keep that in mind. Mostly I try to, I'm trying to make this one of professorslots.com/ABC27, something easy to remember instead of linking on. Remember, the live chat doesn't exist after, is tucked away after the live stream. So that's why I tend not to use them anymore. Let's see. Yep. Everybody have a great weekend. If I don't see you next week or the week after, I think we're coming out upon holidays then. Hope everybody has a great holiday season. Thank you so much for the donations and the super chats and the super stickers. Much appreciated. And for those of you on the podcast, we will continue on with the next segment of the show. So thank you, everybody, and take care.